Hey there, deep divers, ready to explore some seriously mind-bending stuff today. We're talking about the physics of UFOs.
Oh, yeah, this is going to be good. You
Yeah.
found some interesting material for this deep dive.
I know, right? We're diving deep into this awesome conversation between Eric Weinstein,
The geometric unity guy.
exactly, and Hal Puthoff.
Wait, he was the one involved in the government's UFO program, right?
Yeah. And get this, he also ran the CIA's psychic spy program.
Whoa. Okay, so this is going to get a little wild. Are we missing something huge about how the universe works?
Or is there something even weirder going on?
Yeah. Like, what if our understanding of physics is just like the tip of the iceberg?
Okay, so before we get ahead of ourselves, let's rewind a bit.
Some
What's the backstory here? Fill us in.
Well, there was this period, the mid-20th century,
Okay.
and some call it the golden age of general relativity.
Hmm.
And physicists were like really starting to explore Einstein's theories.
Cool.
And they were looking into gravity
Okay.
and even the possibility of, get this, anti-gravity.
Wait, hold on. Anti-gravity? You mean like defying gravity? The thing that keeps us on the ground?
Yep. That's exactly what I'm talking
That
about.
sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
Right. It does.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. It wasn't just some fringe scientist messing around with this idea.
Oh. Yeah.
No, we're talking about serious players.
Like who?
Big aerospace companies. Like the Glenn Martin Company.
Which later became...
Lockheed Martin.
Wow. Oh, and there's more. The Gravity Research Foundation, voted by Roger Babson.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Babson, like Babson College. The business school.
One and only.
What got a business tycoon like that interested in gravity research?
So it's actually a kind of a tragic story. Babson's sister drowned.
Oh, wow.
And it just sparked this, like, intense desire in him to understand gravity.
Mm.
He thought, maybe if I knew more about how gravity works, maybe
Yeah.
I could have saved her.
Wow, that's both heartbreaking and inspiring.
Yeah.
Turning personal tragedy into a quest for knowledge.
Yeah. So what happened to all this research? Did they, like, figure out the secret to anti-gravity?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Right.
Around the 1950s, things kind of went quiet.
Really?
Yeah, this research it seemed to disappear from public view.
So did they just hit a dead end? Or did this research go black? Like, did it become classified?
That's what we got to figure out. What were they uncovering that might have been deemed too sensitive?
Yeah, it makes you think about how fast we went from the Civil War to dropping atomic bombs.
Right.
And what the potential dangers of some physics breakthroughs could be.
Totally. And Eric Weinstein actually brings up a pretty shelling point about this.
Oh.
He suggests that when we detonated the first hydrogen bomb in 1952,
Yeah.
we might have accidentally sent a signal out into space.
Like a cosmic, hey, everyone, we're here announcement.
Exactly. Like, hey, look at us. We're technologically advanced now.
Whoa.
And what if someone out there heard that signal?
Yeah.
Someone with a way more advanced understanding of physics than us?
Okay, now I am officially creeped out.
Right.
So where do UFOs fit into all of this?
Well, Hal Puthoff suggests that maybe the answer lies in Einstein's equations for general relativity.
Okay.
He thinks it might be possible to, like, manipulate those equations in a way that could create effects that people have described seeing with UFOs.
So you're saying it's not about little green men, it's about hacking the laws of physics.
Yeah, kind of like hacking the universe.
Wow.
Puthoff uses this analogy of manipulating Maxwell's equations for electromagnetism.
Okay.
And he shows how changing some variables in those equations
Yeah.
allows us to control electric and magnetic fields. He thinks we might be able to do something similar with gravity.
But manipulating Einstein's equations, that's got to be crazy complicated, right?
Oh, absolutely. It would require like a crazy level of understanding of both general relativity and quantum mechanics.
Yeah.
A level we might not even have yet. But Puthoff's work on this thing called polarizable vacuum theory
Okay.
explores this possibility.
Polarizable vacuum. I'm going to need you to break that down for me.
Okay, so imagine the vacuum of space.
Yeah.
Not as just empty space,
Right.
but as like a sea of virtual particles just popping in and out of existence.
Okay. I'm following.
This vacuum has properties that we can manipulate, including something called the dielectric constant.
Dielectric constant. Is there like an easy way to understand that?
Okay, think of it like this. The dielectric constant affects how easily electric fields can go through a material.
Okay.
Puthoff's idea is that if we could somehow change the dielectric constant of the vacuum itself,
Yeah.
we could potentially influence the speed of light.
Wow.
And if you can mess with the speed of light, well, you can potentially create some pretty crazy effects.
Like what we see with UFOs.
Exactly.
So we're talking about like bending the fabric of space-time itself?
Pretty much.
This is insane.
Yeah, it is. And it's super fringe science.
Right.
But
Right.
hey, the most exciting discoveries often start on the fringes, right?
True. So manipulating the speed of light, that's a lot to process.
Right.
But then we've also got Eric Weinstein and his geometric unity theory.
Oh, yeah, that's a whole other level.
Yeah. It's supposed to be like one of the most complex theories out there.
It gets pretty wild, especially when you start talking about temporal dimension hacking.
Temporal dimension hacking.
Okay.
You're going to have to explain that one.
All right, so remember how Weinstein's theory says there could be more than just the 3 dimensions of space and 1 dimension of time?
Yeah, like extra dimensions.
Exactly. So instead of just one timeline,
Right.
there could be like a whole whirlpool of time with multiple possible futures.
Whoa. Okay, so like time travel.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Or maybe even manipulating time to do things that seem impossible to us right now.
Like how UFOs just appear and disappear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But Weinstein is careful to say that messing with extra temporal dimensions
Yeah.
could have some seriously crazy consequences.
Yeah, that makes sense. Messing with time is probably not a good idea.
Right. Especially if it falls into the wrong hands.
Okay, so we've got potential government cover-ups.
Yeah.
The possibility of manipulating extra dimensions
Uh-huh.
and even psychic spies influencing quantum devices.
It's a lot to take in, right?
It is. Where do we even begin to make sense of all of this?
Well, it's tough to ignore all the eyewitness accounts and radar data and even military footage.
True.
But at the same time, our current understanding of physics just can't explain what these UFOs are doing.
It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole.
Exactly.
And it makes me think, what if there's a reason we can't explain it? Like, what if someone is deliberately suppressing information about UFOs?
Well, Weinstein and Puthoff definitely seem concerned about the possibility of government suppression.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that far-fetched, right? Governments have done some pretty shady stuff to control information.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, remember that story about Jean Seberg?
The actress?
Yeah, the FBI spread all these lies about her to discredit her.
It's crazy what lengths they'll go to.
Right, so if there really is something to this UFO thing and it challenges everything we think we know about the universe,
Yeah.
It wouldn't be surprising if someone wanted to keep it quiet.
It's definitely unsettling to think about.
It is.
But despite all that, there's still a sense of, like, excitement around this topic, you know?
Totally.
What are some of the most promising areas of research right now?
Yeah, good question.
Well, one thing is developing more rigorous scientific methods for studying UFOs,
Okay.
better data collection,
Yeah.
more sophisticated analysis,
Hmm.
and a willingness to consider explanations that might be outside our current scientific thinking.
So, like, being open to the possibility that we don't know everything.
Exactly. Another promising area is the study of consciousness.
Oh, right. Hal Puthoff and the CIA's Stargate program.
Right. Remote viewing.
The ability to see things far away with your mind. I always thought that was a little out there.
It definitely pushes the boundaries.
But Puthoff's work suggests there might be something to it. Didn't he mention an experiment where a psychic influenced a quantum device?
Yeah. And it was shielded, like really well shielded.
But is that even possible?
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
But if consciousness can really interact with the physical world in ways we don't understand,
Yeah.
it could explain some of the crazy things we see with UFOs.
Like defying gravity and teleporting?
Exactly. It's like something out of a comic book.
It is. So we've got government cover-ups,
Uh-huh.
manipulating extra dimensions,
Yeah.
and psychic spies. This is a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
Yeah.
But the key is to be skeptical, but also open-minded.
Okay.
We need to be critical of the information we come across, but also be willing to consider new explanations.
So how do we find that balance? What can we do as individuals to understand all of this better?
Well, first, stay curious.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask questions and challenge what you think you know.
And don't let anyone shut down your curiosity.
Exactly. We also need to be critical thinkers.
Yeah.
Learn how to tell real information from fake news and sensationalism.
Do your own research, basically.
Yes. And finally,
Yeah.
be open to the possibility that the universe is way more complex than we can even imagine.
It's okay to not have all the answers right.
Exactly. That's what makes this whole thing so fascinating.
It does. It really makes you realize how much we still don't know about the universe.
Yeah. It's humbling.
Yeah, it really is humbling to think about how much is still out there to discover.
It is.
It kind of makes all our problems seem small, you know?
Totally.
You know what really struck me about Weinstein and Puthoff's conversation?
What's that?
They're both calling for a total shift in how we think about science.
Yeah, like a whole new paradigm.
Right. Like, our current scientific understanding is just not cutting it.
It's too limited.
Yeah, exactly.
They're saying that our focus on materialism and breaking everything down to its smallest parts might be preventing us from seeing the bigger picture.
Like we're missing the forest for the trees.
Exactly.
So we need to expand our thinking, be open to explanations that might seem crazy.
Totally. Weinstein uses this really great metaphor.
Oh.
He compares our obsession with materialism
Yeah.
to trying to understand a symphony
Okay.
by only analyzing the vibrations of each instrument.
Oh, I see.
We might be missing the underlying harmony, you know?
Yeah, that's a great analogy.
So we need to be open to the possibility that there are forces and phenomena at work that we haven't even discovered yet.
Like there's a whole other level of reality we're not even aware of.
Exactly.
You know, for all the talk about cover-ups and potential dangers,
Yeah.
there's also something really hopeful about all of this.
What do you mean?
It's like this reminder that we're still exploring,
Yeah.
that there are still mysteries to uncover.
Right.
We haven't figured everything out yet.
And we may never.
Exactly. So where do we go from here? What's next in this whole UFO investigation?
Well, we need more research, obviously.
Yeah.
More data, better data collection, and a more open-minded approach to looking at the evidence. We need scientists who are willing to think outside the box.
Like Hal Puthoff, going into parapsychology even when everyone thought it was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not just about the scientists, though.
Right.
We all need to cultivate a sense of curiosity, encourage skepticism, but without being dismissive, you know?
So like having respectful conversations even when we disagree.
Exactly. We're all in this together trying to figure out these huge questions about the universe.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is.
So what's the one thing you hope people take away from this deep dive?
Stay curious, stay open-minded, and never stop questioning. The universe is full of amazing things, and the more we explore, the more we realize how much we still have to learn.
I love that. And on that note, I'll leave our listeners with this question to think about. If we can't explain these UFO phenomena with what we know now, does that mean what we know is wrong? Or is there something else entirely going on?
Who knows? But the journey is half the fun, right?
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the physics of UFOs. Keep looking up, keep asking questions, and maybe you'll be the one to solve the next big mystery.